Hey, everybody. It's Medium Brandon Russ. How are we? Been a little bit. I'm so sorry. It's only going to get worse during the summer. And listen, I'm just going to let you guys know get your vacation days in. Go ahead, get them in. If you can see what I can see right now, you would see an absolute disaster of an office. I got stuff everywhere. I got drums over here. I got bass over there. I got the keyboards right here, but they're about to move. I am in transition. I am in chrysalis mode. Perfect. Hope everybody can see or hear me or whatever it is we want to do here. Make sure that we're on there. Hey, Jersey, what's going on? Ken, good to see you, buddy. Melanie, thanks for holding down the fort before I got on. Rita and Trish and Janet, good to hear from you guys. A couple of things you're going to want to stay on top of. Casey, good to see you again. Esther, for sure. Judy, Francesca. Boy, look at you guys go. You guys are diving right in there. It's almost like it's a thing all of a sudden. I promise I'm not going to do all that much politics tonight. The only thing I'm going to say is pay attention to the astrology this week. This week's astrology is a doozy. It's a doozy, as they say. Hey, Joanne, how are you? Oh my gosh. If you could tell me all my friends were coming over, I would throw a party. And you would see the biggest gift would be for me. And the card attached would say, "What took you so long?" Anyway, so yeah. So just a very weird day. It's Ken, there you go. You beat me to it. Just a weird couple of days. And I'm going to pull out the astrology. I'm going to show you guys the astrology. By the way, if you're not involved with the weekly B, it's a class. It's $11 a class. It's cheap. It is cheap. You know what we're going to talk about tomorrow? We're going to talk about telekinesis. We're going to talk about intuition and telekinesis. You know those people that can read these cards? You know, and you hold them up and you're like, well, I don't know, a couple of squiggly lines. If you can name that movie. We're going to actually talk about how telekinesis is whether you know, there's so much here. Here's a couple of the cards here. You've seen these before. You know, do mediums connect with spirit, or are we able to tap into the other person's subconscious? That is a real question. That is a real bona fide question. Because I've sometimes somebody would just be like, I was just thinking that. And then I'm like, I know. I have a book and a YouTube channel. You know, all that other good stuff, right? Hey, Tara, how are you? Tara. I don't know what day it is. But it's a legitimate question. And these are some of the things that we talk about in class. We've had some really great classes over the last couple of weeks. We do deep dives into things. We talked about the Voynich manuscript, transcript the other day. We talked about doing psychometry and how that works for like missing persons. We also talked about building our psychic dictionary, which is not psychic, but it's what it's called. It's a psychic dictionary. So go to the website. Actually, you should be signing up for the website too because of two things. One, numero uno. First of all, get on board. In a couple of weeks, we are doing a you get a little free time with me. I'm going to be doing a info session on the foliage retreat that we're going to have up here in the Northeast. I think you guys are going to be super excited. Yes. Fantastic, Hayes. Well done. Well done. So make sure you sign up on that. By the way, go to the website, tbrandonross.com, sign up. The other thing that is going to be of interest to you is going to be you will have an opportunity to see behind the scenes of the new Oracle deck being pulled together right now. We're going to be doing a bit of a Kickstarter type of idea. Kickstarter seems to be the lead because it's attached to one of the production companies that I'm looking at here. They do a pretty good job with it, but more importantly, I'm not just doing an Oracle deck. I don't know if you guys have seen this or not. There were close to 300 Oracle decks released in 2024 before April this year. That's a lot. That's a lot. That is a lot. It's kind of like, something like somebody was telling me the other day, close to 150 songs are released every hour because it's so easy to produce music and send it out there now. It's like, whoa, that's a lot. Hey, Debbie, how are you? Um, and it's interesting because when I started doing this, I was like, oh my gosh, I see all these AI tools. And then I'm like, wow, I can just take my ideas, type it in, refine it, kind of whatever, and sure enough, as soon as I would hit send, I would get these are the hands that are feeding you. And then it's just like, what kind of Quasimodo stuff is this? Um, and then I also started to take a look at some other things. And I was really critical. There was somebody that I actually had up to, the shop when I had the shop and everything, and she had produced her own deck of cards. And come to find out, I started to see like glimpses of it on the internet. I was like, huh. I go, did you copyright these? And she said, no, I had an artist AI generate them. I paid him X amount of money in order to do it. And they said, but who owns it? She goes, well, it's AI. Nobody owns it. You can't make money on it. I can only make money if I sell the deck. And I said, okay. And this isn't about money, but it is about ownership. And when we're looking at this in the publishing company and how you produce stories and artwork and even music at this point, it's like, what are you doing? What are we doing? Like, we are literally, the microwave came in and we quit learning how to cook. Like, genuinely, like, as a country, the microwave showed up, fast food came in, like, we don't cook anymore. When was the last meal you cooked, right? And I think AI runs that same problem. So, now I'm gonna share with you the idea. I am creating a series of meditations for this artist. Her name is Katie, and she'll be front and center. I'm actually gonna do a podcast with her, and everybody can get to know her, and we can talk about the launch and all that other good stuff. And we're a handful of cards in. We're actually not that far in, but it's like we've got our methodology down. So I create a meditation on a topic and send it to her. She meditates with it and then she works with it. She does beautiful watercolor. And at first when she was like, watercolor, I'm like, and then when I saw her work, I went, oh, you can do a lot with this. So my education went up, and the couple that she's done so far are just whoa. I can't show you yet. I won't show you, but it will be the type of thing that if you jump onto the Kickstarter thing, my niece is Yuri Geller, and over on YouTube mentioned that her niece can bend a silver spoon with her mind. Oh yeah, that is absolutely all part of this. But back on the Oracle cards, this is like a complete package thing for people to be able to kind of see behind the scenes. You'll get early access to the Oracle cards. You'll get early access to the meditations. And true to form, we're going to create, we're kind of going back and forth between 44 and 55 and going back and forth with kind of how to promote and produce it and all that other stuff. And, we may get into an elimination phase where, say, we have 60 cards, but we have to get it down to 55. And this group that will be part of our kickoff will absolutely 100% be the ones to weigh in on it. And it's kind of a cool thing to be part of the process. And then when when the cards are launched, you're also going to have you're going to have an option to have access to the meditations as well. This Oracle deck is unlike anything else you've ever seen. It is completely derived from my mind to her talent, her interpretation, what happens in between, and it's cool because I've had a couple of conversations with her, but it's not like we've known each other about 2 months, maybe. And it's a really cool creative process. It reminds me a lot of what I went through with penning, where we're like, huh, we've got a lot of similarities, and hey, we've got some cool things. And she's on the other side of the state. I've never met her, but there was just something that Spirit kind of said, hey, you should probably, she's kind of got some chops here. And I think you guys are going to really, really like that. I think you guys are going to really, really like this Oracle deck. It is way different. And you can use it. You're going to be able to use the Oracle deck in a couple of different ways. You can turn them over, use them for readings. They're rich in interpretation. They're rich with symbolism. And then on the other side of that, you could take them as a daily oracle and pull them out and then go to the meditation and do that meditation and treat it like a message. So this is kind of a dual function type of thing. I'm super excited about it. It's one of those things where I see what's being produced out there. In all due respect, 90% of it is just absolute crap. It's just crap. I mean, even this deck here that I'm really super duper, like, I think they're just beautiful cards. 100% AI generated. They're AI generated, and I can say how beautiful this is and how great this, the scenery is and everything else, but man, oh man, it's not man-made. And I think we have to get back to man-made. That's why the music that I'm doing here. Oh, and by the way, July 1st, you're going to want to jot down that date. What, Brandon? What do you do on your time off? Well, first of all, I don't know what that means. But second of all, on July 1st, just before the 4th of July, you're going to want to visit my website because I'm going to have a new song out. An actual song. Singer, songwriters involved, the whole 9 yards. It's about a girl that falls in love and then ends up realizing she's part of a cycle and realizing that only love could break the cycle. It's kind of cool. Been working on it for a while. I think you guys are going to like it. So you're like, so can I still get a reading? Yeah. dbrandonruss.com. Put in Jazz Hands 33. Discount still alive. Truth be told, I'm not very good at the internet thing. So I don't know how to turn it off. And so it has to expire. I don't know. So who's got some squirrely energy this week? So come along, get on the website. I got cool stuff going on, more than a medium. Putting my talent where my mouth is. Wait a minute. That's kind of a weird thing to say. But letting myself really kind of expand the way that I feel I'm supposed to expand, and let's just go do this. Let's just have at it. And by the way, I've got bigger plans with the music, and just stay tuned. I think you guys are going to like it. So listen, we are going to be doing a little bit of shuffle up and heal here in a second. But right now, I want to talk about the astrology and what's going on today. Later on this week, oh, look at this. June 14th. Something's going on that day. June 14th is going. It's somebody's birthday. Anyways, so it was a squirrel morning. Sure shit was. I like that answer. What you're feeling right now is Mars square to Pluto. Right? Rita called it a squirrel day. Hey, Paula. Hi, Maria. Emily, hi. So let me show you what's going on here. And I took out all of the other, angles, aspects, what have you. So first of all, you've got this conjunct here that's happening up here in the in Gemini. So you've got Sun, you've got Mercury in full conjunct, right? And by the way, we're coming up to this. So as things approach into the aspects that they have, it's kind of like click, click, like you can kind of hear it kind of coming a little bit. It's like you can hear the train coming. That's what today was, just to let you know. So Sun in Gemini, you got the two sides, you got the over communication, you've got the, don't want to miss anything out. It's kind of squirrely energy in a sense. That's just the Sun in Gemini to begin with. But it's an anxiousness, right? Sometimes the anxiousness can go positive, but then you have Mercury ruled by Gemini jumping in here with a conjunct along with Venus. So you may have a lot of like, you're just on hyper everything. Do they like me? Don't they like me? Why is my boss not talking to me? What's going on here? Why did I get this memo? What the hell's going on with this? Why hasn't anybody said hi to me? We're at a creamer? They know I love creamer. Maybe they're going to get rid of me. Right? Or it could be, did he just look at me? Did he just look at me? Oh my God, I could just so have his children. Like that could be part of the conversation too, right? And it's kind of like it's a little bit of it's too much of a good thing. It's too much of a good thing. Have you ever met that person that like the first drink is kind of like, okay, we're gonna loosen up a little bit. The second drink, you're like, not only do you get better looking, but you actually get funny, right? You almost become talented, right? And then by the third drink, you're just like, and then the fourth drink, you're like, yeah, totally. This is fourth drink territory, by the way. This is like, I don't want to go to school. This is a lot of shit, right? But if you harness it the right way, and again, guys, this is actually the reason why I haven't really done too many lives. I had this sinus thing going on. Even the shows that I had to do in the home parties, I was like, oh my gosh, I got so much. I had to like amp myself up for that. So I had a really difficult time getting myself there. Anyways, so so this kind of squirrely energy happening here is just kind of the tip of the iceberg. Let me get to the cross-cutting, right? Are you ready? So Mars making his transit down here, sitting here in the 6th house. And by the way, this is if you're Scorpio rising. This is happening in those particular houses. If you're one of the other signs, just move the dial to where you need to. Make sure that it's on the ascending, and then I will show you. If you move it down to Sagittarius, then Pluto will be in your 2nd house. If Capricorn is your rising, move it over here. Pluto will be in your 1st house. So forth and so on, right around the dial. But as an overarching, you have Mars square to Pluto. So you have Mars up here in the 6th house. Again, we're not talking about houses, right? The second down here in Pluto. That's kind of sitting around. So these are two Maleficent planets going there, like it's a turf war. It's a territory thing. It's like, what you think? What you think? I saw you talking to Lucy. So, you got a beef? And it's like, I didn't talk to Lucy. Oh yeah, well you just said Lucy, so that means you talked to her. And then you're like, no, it doesn't really make sense. There's a little bit of irrationalization. There's also kind of like getting offended on nothing. There's a little bit of, dynamic of like just hard energy. This is just super hard energy, right? So you've got Mars squaring Pluto, and Pluto's going to Pluto, right? Pluto's being like, hey everybody, we're here to change, and Mars is like, we're here to shit up. Like that's just between the two of them, they're like, so that's why you're feeling this destructive conversation right now. That's why you're feeling like this. You feel like a punching bag a little bit when this is in the air, because you feel like it's the other shoe dropping. This is where you're feeling yeah, right, totally. It's a conversation that would be misunderstood in a hurry. But wait, there's more. Not to be outdone. Not to be outdone. The Godfather of the planets is like, I'm going to pick sides here. I'm going to pick sides. I'm going to pick sides. And Jupiter is trying to Pluto, basically going, Pluto comes in and, excuse me, United Nations. We would like to put our support behind the sovereign nation of Pluto. That is a planet. It is a planet, everyone. Thank you very much. Jupiter supports Pluto. I'm just telling you. So Jupiter's about expansion. Pluto's about change, transformation. Hope you like the paint color, because it's about to change. A lot of change, a lot of upheaval. By the way, if you haven't already, go ahead and rearrange your entire house. If you haven't already, go ahead and like shuffle shit around your desk. By the way, as I look around here, it is absolutely turmoil. Perfect. Mars squaring Pluto. And then Pluto going, I got my friend Jupiter over here. Right. So you've got just that dynamic right there, along with everything going in Gemini, with the Sun, with Mercury, with Venus. Expect some really kind of weird conversations. Expect some, like, I thought we were good, man. Or, I sometimes in my world, like, by the time I report on it, it's kind of already happened in my world, like some change or some overdub or, for instance, the Sun, Mercury, Venus conjunct over there, is kind of like, oh, it's like, aha, where's the passion? Well, I sat down, I just played guitar all day yesterday. I just needed a break. My voice needed a break, the whole nine. And you know, I have squirrely friends. Sorry, some of you are a little nuts. And I've already seen kind of you know the quick behavior, the behavior that's kind of like, I didn't expect that. Like, I thought we were cool, and I guess we got to talk about it more. And it's not bad. In my personal experience, it's not bad, but what it is the ability for me to kind of go like, oh, that's how they're affecting the energy. I always get a little bit of a precursor like the week before. So for me, like, energetically, I guess I'm a week before the astrology. um by the way, if you're looking this up into chart action, you'll also see Lilith squared with everything that's going on in Gemini right now. I'm going to go back to this for just a second. Lilith is sitting up here in Virgo, and these are two mutables. And I probably should really talk about this because I brought it up in one of my classes. By the way, in these weekly classes, we talk about astrology for about 10 or 15, and then we talk about tarot. We take out a couple of cards. So you get little bite sizes of things. Lilith is squared to Venus, actually, this whole kind of ganglia here. So of course, Lilith is going to make you kind of want to go the other direction. Right. So even though you're like, oh, this should really be peaceful and loving and everything else, um, it's really important. This is, again, where I think this is kind of going to play into it. If you got some healing to do, you might want to just let your peeps know, man. Like, this is how you handle this energy. Let your peeps know that you're just going through it. Everybody's going through it, by the way. And by the way, Lilith and Virgo, it's kind of about getting back to doing things right. It's not as dark as some of the other, Lilith placements. So if you're a Lilith and Virgo, you're probably, a lot of insecurities in terms of like worthiness and that sort of thing. So that's another bend in all of this. Lilith squaring what's going on in Gemini. And really, like I said, the best way to really kind of handle this is just say, listen, I'm going through it this week. Let's take a deep breath. I'm so sorry that this is happening. Let's go down the rabbit hole together if you want, or excuse yourself from the rabbit hole. By the way, not everybody in your life is supposed to know all your shit. Just to let you know. And I'm not telling you to be quiet. And I'm not telling you to text me incessantly. What I'm telling you is, it is a very appropriate thing to say, I think that this is you're part of my journey with us. And I think that's a really key thing. And sometimes when you're going through stuff, boy, is it liberating to be able to say, like, I just need a couple. Give me 10. And just don't take it personally. Just don't take it. When somebody flies off the handle, don't take it personal, because you're going to need that same respect back, I think. I think that's kind of what's going on for a lot of people right now, is they just need, listen, we're all in it, guys. We are all in it one way or the other. So that's kind of the astrology. And I think if you watch any of the other astrologers, and they're all great. And by the way, congrats to Penny getting up there again. She's going now for almost 2 weeks, and listen, coming back from stuff. When I was 25 and, when I got dinged in the face, like, I didn't even have a stitch until I was 45. I didn't even have a stitch. Didn't even break a bone. Like nothing, right? Nothing till I'm whatever. I don't think I've still broken a bone. Oh, knock on wood. Not a good week. And then he's in full traction, everybody. He'll be back after the summer. But I know, and then I'm not going to say it. I'll say it. Then Penny and I will both have something in common with our, I'm in terrible shape, but I wanted to come to you live anyways. So anyway, so the way that the energies are right now, just be patient with yourself, be patient with others. Don't take it personal if it goes a little sideways. And by all means, when these things come up, you clearly haven't had a couple of drinks and thought you could dance on ice flawlessly. Let me tell you why I don't drink. And it has to do with the ice capades. So, I'm just kidding. Although I did get an ice capades number once, and as it turns out, it wasn't real. I fell for that shit, hook, line, and sinker in downtown Albany. And 21 was a very difficult year for me. So, well, energetically, I can't really drink, but the thing that really kind of made me go, ooh, I started to realize like I was missing things, and I wasn't like forgetting them, but I wasn't fully. I'm like, man, I wish that would happen again. Whatever that might be, meeting people, being in the same room, being able to watch people jam, being, whatever. So I was like, maybe I'll just like not drink tonight. And yeah, it's funny, Emily. Like, yeah, you're not alone. Energetic people tend to not be able to drink. And I'm not saying you can't have a drink or two. I'm not a teetotaler about it. It's just when I have a couple, I'm going to tell you this right now. I'm super planned. And on one side of it, people are like, "Oh, you make sure you're a designated driver." No, I make sure I'm not going to read anybody for 2 days. Ta-da! So there's that. I also think that when people tend to, use it as a crutch, and I have a family history, so we're not going to do that. Dad wasn't bit by it. Mom's side actually had it. And my mom never touched anything, really. I mean, she would have a glass of wine every now and again, but it was the aunts and it was the grandmother and it was that older generation that was just like, but that's what they did. That's how they made decisions. They were naming their kids Bailey, and not George. All right, guys, you want to play some cards? You want to shuffle up and heal, do we? Yeah, let's just have some fun. Let's turn over some cards. It's so freaking heavy. And this one's going to do this, and that one's going to do that, and we're raiding here, and this one's getting exploded. Oh, by the way, Primo for some war action with this setup. And again, I'm not predicting anything. By the way, he's still leaving the country. Don't worry. He's like, hey, but you said, I know what I said. I'm going to tell you he's already made up his mind. And I'm going to tell you that when he leaves, he's going to say, as soon as they made that decision, I was going to leave. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. Just make sure you vote. All right, guys, here we go. Let's pick somebody at random. Emily's saying hi, and she supports the channel, so we're gonna go down this route here. I love that comment. Love that comment. Here we go, kids. Oh yeah, Janet, hang on there. Thanks for supporting the page. For sure. And seeing the fives. We're gonna come up here. Yeah, the other shoe hasn't fallen. It will, but I'm telling you. All right, Emily, here we go. You know how this goes. You guys know how we do this, right? See, I don't like that setup. I like that setup. Ooh, but if I do this setup, I get more. I don't know. Which one do you guys like? All right, I'm gonna go with camera 1, and let's see how far we go with this. And we are doing 3 cards. Oh, this is about to work. This is about the. Oh, we're gonna do this right side up. All right, there we go. I'm just getting my orientation here. By the way, my orientation is not in question. 8 of Pentacles, everybody. 8 of Pentacles. Welcome to the hard work, Emily. You drew these cards. I didn't. Knight of Pentacles. Oh man, I see some decisions and some practicalities coming. And then we're gonna. Oh, there we go. This is about your spiritual journey. This is about you doing the work, kiddo. By the way, the class meets over the summer on Tuesdays at noon. So let me keep the pipes clear, man. Yeah, you keep getting pentacles. Fair enough, Emily. All right, well, let's see what we have to answer here. Oh, yeah, Ace of Wands. So this is really about doubling down and doing the work. This is about the journey. What did I say? The spiritual journey. And by the way, the High Priestess says a lot here. What you working on? Three of Pentacles comes out. Okay, so a couple of things going on here. First of all, Eight of Pentacles to the Knight of Pentacles. This is kind of about like, hey, having pride in your work. Go ahead and putting it out there. Then the High Priestess comes up, pulls on all that old wisdom, and is basically like, the old ways are the good ways, right? I'm sorry, did I just talk incessantly for a few minutes about how you should actually not acknowledge AI and actually do the work yourself? And maybe learn how to cook instead of just microwave shit all the time, or maybe whatever. I don't know, Emily. Kind of looks like the old ways are the good ways, because the Ace of Wands comes out along with the Six of Swords. This is about a journey card. A lot of people think the Six of Swords, and like, why would you put Six of Swords in the bottom of the boat? Because it's a journey. It's my journey. I'm going to do what I want. By the way, if you were to take a look in here and you would be like, wow, Brandon, I love what you did with the place, I'd say, you, it's my stuff. And then you have the Three of Pentacles, which is the working undercover a little bit. It's kind of like I'm going to work on this to find my alignment. So you're doing this stuff in private. And where am I going to go with this? Rocky Mountain High, Colorado. There you go, Emily. Naturally high. And by the way, this is actually the namesake of the back on the other side of it. AI generated. Want to point this out. By the way, these are also AI generated. I think I'm going to start to take a stance to not do AI generated cards. I think it is. We think it's advancement. We think it's advancement. So, Emily, the advice to this is pay attention. You've been doing the work all along. Start to show it. Start to show it. And maybe the old practical things, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. Go do it. And by the way, be passionate about it. You love what you do. And again, I'm talking about the spiritual work. Dive in, roll up your sleeves, make it happen. All right, Janet, coming to you, love. Thanks so much for supporting it. Little known fact, and a lot of people get a little jealous about this. Janet Moody was the second one on this channel. Just to let you know. Janet's number one in our hearts. That's why we give her the Queen of Pentacles. Oh, yeah. Yeah, they are so pretty. Shut up, Emily. Oh, you're so right. All right, Rita, here we go. Oh, Rita. I'm sorry. I'm going to Janet on this one. Rita, hang on. Janet, here we go. Janet, Queen of Pentacles, the Magician. It's not Barry White's fault. Oh. I love my work. How about the Judgment card? So you were getting fives all day, Janet. You know what this is about? This is about elevating your game. The five allows, especially when you get five in a row. By the way, five, add them up. 5 plus 5 plus 5. If you're seeing fives, it's a 16. All right, it's 15. It becomes a 6. It's called simple math, Brandon. Don't overthink it. It becomes a 6, which is the next step in the journey. See, that's the thing with numerology. It always makes logical sense, which is why we use it as a primer. The 5 is about the change. 6, 5 and 5 and 5. 15, 1 plus 5 is 6. Is about the next step in the journey. I think you're being encouraged here. I think if you're seeing them all over the place, this is a really big time for you. Huge time for you. Because the Queen of Pentacles is about your practicality, right? Keeping it a little introverted. The Magician's here. The Judgment card, how many times do we have to say it? It is not about judgment purely. It is about discernment, which, by the way, will be one of the cards in my Oracle deck. Ching. And it's about 2.0. It's about you reinventing yourself. How about that chicanery? Spirit tells me this. It's kind of annoying. All right, Black Bell. I'm down. Ooh. Like I said, it's not Barry White's fault. The Devil card comes out. Oh. We'll get there in a second, Jan. Meanwhile, Janet's like, I don't know if I should just jump in the ocean or get on a plane. Oh, yeah. And by the way, this is in reverse. You're dealing with letting shit go. Oh, yeah. Here we go. You are a smarter, wiser Janet at the end of the day. This is about applying it. Listen, I don't know what you got going on in your personal stuff. I don't care what you're buggering. I don't care what you're doing. But according to the cards, it looks like something's going down here. There's a little bit. Because you got the Queen of Pentacles where you're like, well, and by the way, the Queen of Pentacles when it comes to intimacy is kind of the Queen of Pentacles of it just works. It doesn't have to look pretty. It doesn't have to have longevity. It doesn't need to have whatever. But what it's kind of like a little behind the scenes. And the devil card comes on top and he's just like, you like what I'm doing to your pentacle? And then it's one of those things that on the next level of it, you're just like, whatever this is, it's working. This is a comfort. This is a comfort. And by the way, get the intimacy thing out of it. It's a comfort. So whatever you're doing this routine thing over and over again, whether you're trapped by it. Thank you very much, Mr. Devil. Whether it's because it's super practical, not taking chances. Why would I take risks? Oh, by the way, I announced to an entire auditorium full of people on Friday night that the long shot would win the Belmont. Thank you. Good night. I can't gamble, but you can. And then you have the Magician. And then you have the 5 of Cups upside down in reverse. This is talking about better good, higher good, betterment of self, right? There is kind of a like a ripping the Band-Aid off with this combo, right? The 5 of Cups are about loss. What did you need to let go of? Painfully need to let go of. 5 of Cups punches you right in that part where you're just like, is there a bone there? Or did you hit all like you're like, oh, that one. I'm fine. Can't you just see Will Ferrell acting that out? You know what the 5 of Cups is? He's punching you right in the ha. And then you get the Judgment card connected with the 7 of Wands. This is about tried and true. This is about applying all of those challenges that you've had, whether it be relationship or with routine, right? Just letting you know. All right, here we go. The backstroke through the river of gold. I like that. I think this is kind of telling you to go with the flow. Trust it. Just trust it. Just trust where you're at there, Janet. I think the world, yeah, thanks so much for being around since day one. Yeah, I get the change stuff though. I think what that's really kind of yelling at you about is it's time. It's time. And by the way, change and routine, it doesn't have to be complicated. It does not need to be complicated. Yes, Janet, go visit the ocean. Go visit the ocean. Now, as she is always promoting me here. Rita, you're up next, and we'll get to some other people. Don't worry. Guys, I don't know if you see this or not, but I'm trying to be efficient. Janet, thanks again so much. I hope you appreciate it. Here we go here. Rita. Oh, Ace of Cups. Ooh. Cup runneth over. We're talking about love. Chariot. Once again, not Barry White's fault. Boom! I was once approached to do an astrological app. This is like 7 or 8 years ago, to develop an astrological app for dating. We were going to call it the Ace of Cups, the Chariot, and the Lovers. I'm just telling you. I'm just kidding. I'm just making shit up. But I did have that on my desk at one point, and I'm like, you want me to give you how much money to put in all the astrology? Thank you, Janet. Hi, Julie. How are you? Yes, I see you there. Black Bell. Yes, I can talk about that. Rachel, good to see you. Black Bell. Debbie, thank you. Rita, back to you. So the reason why I said no wasn't, well, it's they're out there now. There are some that are out there for compatibility and that sort of thing. The challenge of it was, how do you still, there's so many nuances. Like, it really gets down to the degree. Like, you may get along with every single Mercury in Gemini because you love to hear people talk, but they're at that 1 degree that it doesn't work for you. And I go, this is really nitpicky. Like we gotta really fine tune this. And they didn't like the idea of doing more work than necessary. So there was that. All right, back to you, Rita dear. Here we go. On your Ace of Cups. Oh yeah. Transformation out of this. Of course. Yeah, you're getting to where you're going. I love my work. So Ace of Cups covered by the Three of Swords. This really makes you kind of like sit back and go like, did I really have to do with that? Boy, what a blessing. What a blessing you got rid of the bow hung. Am I right or am I right? And then all of a sudden, the Chariot, along with the World card, this is kind of like this is like you have no choice. You have no choice. You're going to move forward. Well, you want to sit at home and not do anything? What do you want to count cats? You want to sit around and count cats? You want to Netflix and purr? Is that what you want? No. You got to get out there. Because the Lovers card, which is choice, is not necessarily getting any, but it is getting a partner for it. I'm just saying, Lovers about choice. You want to sit on your couch, you're going to be perfectly happy. However, you want to be back into balance. You want to feel like you are you want to step into something where you feel like you are an equal partner. Bam. That's that combo. That is that combination. All right, Black Belt, quit it down a little bit. Oh, all right. Here's your inspiration card, Dancing in the Parade. I love that card for you right here, because what that's really talking about is just enjoy the freaking journey, for crying out loud. Read it. There are people in this world I will always pull for, and how we know each other here, I will always pull for you. And this card lineup is like, bam. This is about you going to the concert. This is about you going to the parade or going to the festival or getting whatever, right? This is, a friend of yours says, hey, I know it sounds a little weird, but I'm going to see this guy. He's like a medium by day, but he's like going to sing or something. I don't know. You want to go? And you're like, yeah, I'll go to Sakadaga Brewery in August. And then all of a sudden you're just like, I'm having the time of my life, dude. And then you meet somebody or not, but that's not what it's about. It's about getting out there. It's about enjoying the flow. I love these cards for you. Oh my gosh. Take a picture. Take a picture. Take it. Love it. Thank you, Rita. Thanks for supporting things from day one here. Such a good vibe here, guys. Such a good vibe. And it's funny. I watch it so I got a note from YouTube. And they had some suggestions for me. And their suggestions were that I start reading people as soon as I get on. Because that would increase I would be encouraging them to share my channel more. And I just started laughing. So at some point, if everybody could do me the favor and share this with somebody that you think would ever tune in, don't send it to like your pastor and be like, he's not the devil. Like, don't give me challenge. But like a friend of yours that like brings up like, have you ever seen that tarot thing? I don't know if I appreciate that tarot thing. And then you say, you got to check this guy out. Do me a solid and send it to somebody. And this isn't about numbers, but it is about livelihood. And I once had somebody say to me like, hey, hey, I'm not going to share this page because then they'll read them instead of me. That's the way the universe works. And by the way, if I meant to read them, I eventually will. So you can choose to either be a catalyst or be an asshole. It's up to you. Either way, I'm going to end up reading them. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. I cannot tell you how many times. Oh, by the way, somebody brought up the question earlier about alcohol. By the way, this gives me a chance to kind of reset. I'll do a few more. Just understand how I work, okay? So when I was, and by the way, you can still get the book on Amazon. It is Funny You Should Say That. Just type in Funny You Should Say That or Brandon Russ. It'll come up. And you can get it. And then when I'm traveling into your neighborhood, bring it with you. I'll sign it. I'll say, hey, how you doing? And be like, Ace of Cups sounds like a good time. So I was, why can't I drink? I don't, or why can't I gamble? I don't gamble for a couple of reasons. First of all, it is not, when you guys pay me money to do things, there's an energetic exchange because that's about your grandmother. It is about your healing. It is about your journey as much as it is mine. So there's that, right? So I tend to not misuse money. However, the local music shop has me on file. I'm just going to tell you, I don't consider that a waste. It's it's like art supply, like art supplies. But how many guitars do you need? Right. um, so there's a dynamic that when gambling would come into play, because I would be like, huh, what are the elements here? And it really got me thinking about energy. I mean, which is what I'm playing, the other book that's going to be out later this year. I have so many projects. I am working like a dog over here. The the best part about it for me was that I understood the dynamics that I was sitting in front of. And it's a story that's in the book. And if you enjoy the story, you got to buy the rest of the book. Do me a solid. And basically, in a nutshell, I'm at a upstate New York casino. There were only like 2 of them at the time. And when they sure are, Melanie. And I was at a no limit hold'em table. And by the way, when I went there with the intention of being in a tournament. Well, in a tournament, you put in your $20, you get a certain amount of chips, and when you're out, you're out. That's a different style. As much as I'm gambling with my $20, I'm not taking those 25,000 in chips from that person directly. They are markers to get the other $20. And by the way, you've already lost it. When you bet that, you've lost it. However, at a no limit hold'em table, you can dig into your pockets and put more money in. You can put, like, you're like, hey, here's, I got another 100 in my thing. I'm going to bet you another 100. Here's a kidney. You can do anything you want at some of these Yahoo places. And sure enough, it's a very long story short. It's a poker story, but basically, in a nutshell, I got visions of this guy losing everything. And when I say everything, I meant his daughter. And I knew that his rent money was sitting in the middle of the table. Like, his mortgage was right there. And it was set up in such a way where he went all in. I had more chips than he did. And when I saw this, I only had like a stack of chips, wasn't too many. But versus the $3,000 in the middle, the $120 was like, why wouldn't you just throw it in there? But I didn't. I folded. The place went absolutely berserk. I mean, absolutely nuts. I could not in good conscience ruin this man. And part of me may say, part of you may say, well, it's his lesson. He needed to learn it. He needed to understand it. All those things are true, and you don't know me. So when I let it go, I pushed my cards in. Like, I'm like, I don't want anybody to say this because it's bad form. And then I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, did I really just piss away at $3,000? Like, I'm like, oh. So there's still like the ego part of it. Like, I had to go through an ego death with all of this. And sure enough, it was one of those casinos where people just do whatever they want because it's right in the shadows of Syracuse University. And my dad told me I can work at ESPN. And sure enough, somebody reaches over my shoulder, grabs my cards, and turns them over. And everybody saw that I had what is known as the nuts. And let me tell you something, the place went crazy. I mean, people are hitting buttons. Everybody's yelling at me. Don't move. Nobody move. Nobody go walk away. Everybody stay where they are. And, next thing I know, I'm down in the basement talking to Lawrence Fishburne about how do you guys know each other? How long have you been working together? And I'm like, I don't even know him. And then I finally told him, I said, well, I'm a medium. And what they showed me was how do you know his name? How do you know his daughter's name? And I'm like, oh, I'm not helping. I was banned from that casino for a year. And it was a lesson for me. And after a couple of hours, they finally let me go. And what they were doing was they were releasing both of us at the same time to see if we would talk, because everything's got cameras. Eye in the sky, the electric guy. Thank you very much, Judas Priest. And oh, by the way, I've seen a lot of really cool concerts in the last couple of weeks. Just letting you know. I got more coming. I'll give an early summer concert update coming up here. But when we go out to the car, he was sitting on his car hood smoking, and I go, "What's going on?" He goes, "Why the hell did you do that? Like, thank you, but why did you do that?" I go, "Did they give you the money?" He's like, "They had to. They ran back the tape. They're like, whatever. They're like, there is no way. Like, they just think you're an idiot." I'm like, "Well, I'm kind of an idiot." He goes, "Well, why did you do that?" And that's when I told him his daughter, and I said her name, needed him to be a dad and quit being a degenerate about all this shit. And he stood there and he's just like, "I'm sorry, what?" And then I talked about his mom. And then I talked about him getting his act together because this isn't how he's going to provide for his family. And this really was his last chance. And he went, "That's crazy." And I said, "I know. I folded the nuts, dude." And he looked at me and was just like, "I don't know if I'm grateful or I think you're an idiot." And I said, "Both." I go, "You can be both at the same time." And I got in my car and I drove away, and I don't know that things worked out, but it bought him more time. And the moral of the story is that's when I really started to realize I was a conduit for spirit, almost always. Where I was like, "Oh, this whole thing of like, well, do you ever turn it off?" And the answer is no, not if you live a very conscious lifestyle. And it's hard. My struggle 100% is well, let's just get right down to it. Cheese. Um for me, it's kind of like, that conscious eating thing has been a challenge because it's like, okay, well, if I feel better, but I've recently made some changes again, getting sick and having this, head cold from hell. Um, which by the way, you can't record music when you got a head cold. You just can't do it. You physically can't do it. It's kind of like you can't hum and pinch your nose at the same time. Some of you just did it. That's awesome. So it really was. So if you like that story, funny you should say that. It's out on Amazon. It just got reduced because that's what they do on Amazon. So you can get it for about $17, $18. And it's a good time had by all. All right, let's do some more readings. I know we had a couple of asks earlier. We're gonna put this up there. We're gonna put this up there. Yeah, Casey, dude, you have no idea. Like once upon a time, okay, I once lost. I can't believe I'm sharing this story because you know what's on the other side of this story. I once gave up cheese for Lent and lost 14 pounds. I'm just letting you know. And just to kind of let you know. And scroll up here and I'm going to jump right in here. Debbie, thanks so much for showing up. How you doing? Debbie, let me know that you're still here somewhere. You're over on the YouTube side. Thanks so much for joining in. I do appreciate you. And by the way, I saw all of your asks. We'll jump into it as often as we can. Debbie, yeah, I see you right here. And thank you so much. All right, Debbie, here we go. Ooh, Ace of Wands. Talk about change. By the way, a little bit of the fire energy Mars action. So you might be reaping what you sow. Are you planning a trap? Is that what you're doing? Are you bluffing? Oh, you're all about the right thing happening right there. So this is about you becoming a defender of kind of like that. I'm working really hard on mending something, maybe kind of pulling it apart. Let's see where else we go. Oh, yeah, the anxiety comes out. Eight of Swords. Pay attention to your intuition. This is about change. Oh, the Judgment card. Ooh, we're out of Judgment cards. That's good. Here on the Seven of Pentacles. And then, hey, Donna, how are you? And then the Ace of Swords. Oh, yeah. Along with, look at that. Tons of air energy. So first of all, Donna, Debbie, I'm going to tell you, do not overthink this. Do not overthink this. Okay, the shingles. Got it. This is going to be about looking at how you take care of yourself differently. Now, listen, shingles is a virus. You get it. Chicken pox, all that stuff. Lee's dormant, all that other good stuff. I am not a medical professional, but they're hitting me hard. You got to sleep this one off. Super duper on the fluids. And again, everything I'm saying, I'm going to say in the stay in the safe lane. I'm going to tell you, I don't know if you drink ginger or not. There's something going on with your stomach for elimination. Also, get yourself a massage. I don't care if you've ever done it before, if it's something you do regularly, get yourself a lymphatic drain. That'll cut your time in half, just to kind of let you know. Again, not giving medical advice. I'm just helping out the community here. And by the way, this Eight of Swords really is about this intuitive, it's almost like you knew something was going to happen. And this recovery is going to be some hard work, but you're going to be changed because of it. You're going to emotionally, yeah, I listen, I get it. I totally get it. By the way, if over on YouTube, Debbie commented, feels like the swords are in my back. 100%, I get that, Kimasabi. 100%. Because this sword is coming out here. And again, let's talk about swords as a representation of thought in the air energy that it is, along with the fact that the justice is here with one hand and you're coming back into balance. This is, listen, I know it doesn't feel this way, but you're gonna, yeah, the ginger is a thing that is fantastic. Debbie, yeah, I almost think you got to double down on it, because I think it's actually not, and I'm going to say this, and again, I'm not a medical professional. It's almost like it's not getting out of your system. Like it's getting stuck in your system. And lymphatic drains, and by the way, anybody, those of you that do partake in the cocktail, if you ever want to recover, part of the reason why you feel hungover is because it stays in your lymph nodes, in particular around here and then up in here. If you kind of give yourself a push here all the way through, and by the way, I actually talk about this in the tapping classes that I used to teach. If you move the lymph nodes across, literally, like it feels like you're squishing them. That's what I've been doing the last week. I'm laughing. That was a productive cough, everyone, just in case you were wondering. Wow. Might as well go on live TV, push your lymph nodes out, and you have to swallow. Anyways, like 5 of you just laughed out loud and be like, did he just say he swallowed? Yeah, he did. Get your mind out of the Ace of Swords. So I got a bright outlook on this, though. Listen, I think you're going to cut your time down. I think it's going to be the type of thing that you're going to need to really kind of pay due diligence to. Yeah, there you go. It's all a story, but it's a good one. I love that card for you. Love that card for you. Because it's almost like you're going to say like, oh, and this is how I save, this is how I got myself back to order. Oh, Debbie, are you kidding me? Spirit literally had me do that in front of the camera. Come on, guys. We're not new here. Spirit was just like, and by the way, Debbie, this is a reason why I read you, and you're going through this regardless. However, you come into my world and you say, hey, B, I'm up against the shingles. Debbie, long time, first time, right? Debbie, here you go. Here's your cards. And then I'm talking about like a tapping technique that I did where I pushed, the lymph drainage. And by the way, this is great for when you've been drinking. It's great for addiction recovery. It is great for injury reduction, as well as any viruses that you're kind of kicking out, especially if you're on anything that attacks your flora as well. So anything where you have to take antibiotics. It's great because what you're doing is you're physically pushing it out of the way, physically getting it to the end of the line. Then the bloodstream, whether it be the oxygen, whether it be the mucous membranes, whatever, then they can do what they need to do to get it out of you. That's the reason why I delivered it. The other reason is so that I can remind myself like, I didn't do this in like 3 days. I did it when it was at its worst, but then I haven't done it in a couple of days. So here I am showing you. Thank you for helping me, Debbie. Well done. Well done. Speedy recovery and a safe recovery. Shingles is not. Shingles is a bear. That's a bear. That is a bear. So I hope you're feeling better. Ooh, I don't know if I'm qualified to answer that, Mama O, but I will tell you. Yeah, Debbie, thank you. Mama O asked, so I cough, my daughter coughs, my mom coughs. Yeah, Janet, I'm absolutely showing you that it works. And that's why I have a spittoon next to me. Anyways, so generational stuff like that tends to be hereditary, right? But it could also be energetic. The lungs have a lot to do with how you harbor anger, right? Kidneys as well. The liver is, abuse, and the spleen is this, that, and the other thing. And I forget all of them now at this point, but they're all coordinated. And once upon a time, I taught a class on it. But the lungs are definitely about anger. What is the family angry with? Let it go. Let it go. And it might be something so subtle that you're just like, maybe you're still pissed off that the Rangers haven't won since 94. I get it. I understand it. I don't gamble, but if I did, I would have lost my shirt on those guys this year. I just would have. I thought they had it. Guys. I'm like, oh, the Rangers are coming back. 30 years, they should be, goalie. By the way, if you've watched them at all, that was an hysterical run right there, what I just said. But when you have it generationally, it tends to be something connected to something within that. Obnoxious men. What? You asked me. She said obnoxious men, question mark. It could be, but maybe it's looking at them for the reason that they were supposed to be in your life. Maybe it was supposed to be about your daughter, you and your mom, and just letting go the anger about the role that they played. There you go. If everybody just allowed yourself to forgive whatever the shit you've been through, you'd be healthier. You'd be great. And I'm here to tell you, yeah, your sister coughs too. Florida hockey capital of the world. I love you, Ken. Ancestral healing is difficult. I mean, it's really integral. Yeah, Rachel, I thought the same thing. I don't want to get too far into the rabbit hole here, about black mold and all that other good stuff, but I'm going to say this to you guys. Energetically, I would just look at it from the standpoint of just anytime you come out of a situation where you're on the short end of the stick, and the short end of the stick might be as simple as you just being without them. They may have just gone in the other direction. It might not have been anything you did or they did or whatever. It might be just be the end of the line. Can't we just be grateful that it happened? Can't we just be, I think about this and I have been mourning not being a baseball coach this year. I'm mourning it. This is the first year. And listen, had the kids for 12 years, 13 years, whatever, where I was super active during that time. But even before then, I was coaching basketball. I was still doing, referee clinics and hitting practices and teaching drums and all that stuff. So I was always involved on some level or another with teaching or instructing or whatever. And I only teach the weekly B now. That's it. That's the only thing that I teach right now. And I really mourn being out there. And I used to say to kids all the time, I'm like, we would go out before the last game of the year, whatever, the first game of the playoffs. And in a 4-team league, like the playoffs are kind of like, everybody gets one more game. And I had this team that was just sideways, man. They had great players, but man, the great players clutched and the not so good players were waiting around for the good players to do it. And I mean, 11 years old, right? And before the game, I would take them out. Before this last game, I would take them out into the middle of the outfield. And and some of them, it was their last year. And I'm like, just rub your hands on the grass. Just put your hands on the grass. Just enjoy it. Smell the grass. Smell it. Smell what it is to be out here in a baseball field. Hold the glove up to your nose and just, right? Listen to everybody laugh at the other field or cheer at the other field. Think about what it was to have your parents say, get him next time, or what a hit, or good play, good job. Think about those things because you're about to grow up. You're about to go to another level. And none of them believe me. None of them, absolutely none of them believe me. And I had a year, and I've told this story before, so I'll keep it short. And we were 0-12. We were 0-12. We were 0 for the season. Even in Little League, that's hard. Like, that is hard. And we weren't winning. We maybe lost a couple by a blowout, but we were losing like 6-5. And we would blow it in the end. We would go into I'll never, second to last game, 5-0. Bottom of the whatever we declared was the last inning. And I'm not kidding you. We did, it was dun, 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 dun. We were the bad news Bears over. And it was anything that could have gone wrong went wrong. It's like, okay, here we are. We got our number one guy out there on the mound. He had ended the last inning. We put the first kid in, and he got in too close and just grazed his shirt. And the umpire is like, nope, he caught him. First base, you hit a batter. It's like, okay, all right, those are the rules. And then we're like, okay, guys, we just got to get, 3 good outs, guys. Everybody keep in front of you. The play's always at first. Who cares about the runner if they come around? We'll give up a couple of runs, win 5-4, whatever. First kid, and he was the pitcher. He was the pitcher. He was the all-star pitcher. The one kid on our team where we were like, yeah, this is whatever. By the way, the entire team was awesome. We just didn't sink the entire year. Gets up, throws the ball, beans the first kid. Well, the rule in Little League is if you hit 2 batters, you can't pitch anymore. You're not out of the game, but you can't pitch anymore. Right? So here we are. We're like, oh, who do we have? Who do we pitch? I don't know. And we ended up losing the game. So here we are. We're going into the playoffs, and we're 0-12. 0-12. That means we have had no wins. 0 wins. No wins. So I take him out to the field. I sit him down and I said, I want you to enjoy this because there's a pretty good chance we're not going to play tomorrow. Tomorrow's a championship. We should all show up and give our condolences and say whatever. And then one of the kids said, hey, coach, I think we can win. I said, I've been telling you that for 12 games. And by the way, before there was Ted Lasso, there was Brandon, just to let you know. And I said, so what is it to win? We have an AA experience with winning. And then one of the kids said, I remember I won a game last year. Oh, you did? Yeah, I was on a team and we, I don't know if you know this or not, coach, but if you score more runs, then you win. So maybe we should try that. I'm like, oh, that's a pretty good plan. That's a damn good plan. As a matter of fact, that's the best plan I've heard all day. And everybody agreed we would try and score more runs. And then everybody also agreed that we were going to keep the ball in front of us. We weren't going to make any stupid mistakes. We would rather eat the ball, which is you don't throw it, then throw it over somebody's head. If you're not confident in doing that, give them the base hit, but don't give them a double. And sure enough, true to form, in the first inning, we gave up 3 runs ish. Can't remember verbatim, but I remember one of the plays hits to the shortstop, who's a good fielder, picked it up and had plenty of time to throw it. And then he just threw it to the pitcher. And I said, whoa, did you kind of understand what I was talking about? We could have gotten him. And he says, coach, I was going to throw it over his head. I'm like, oh, okay. I go, in warm-ups, you throw it right to the first baseman. It's part of the reason why you're a shortstop. I mean, we are 12 losses in. And sure enough, he said, I was feeling my way. He goes, I think I'll be good the next time. Very long story short, we ended up winning the game 10-9. They had a rally in the end. The ball gets hit to the shortstop and he throws a line. And I mean, he threw it like a clothesline. It was a laser beam to the first baseman. And this first baseman reaches out with a stretch. Everybody did everything they were taught the entire year, but they waited till the last of that inning to do it. And sure enough, he reached right out, caught the ball, end of game, place goes absolutely nuts. Just, but I've never seen such mayhem. And it was like the USA beating Russia. It was without a doubt that same elation. Because of course we had another game the next day to go beat Finland. I'm just saying. And the following day, and we all go out and we're talking to the coaches, and the coach, yeah. And by the way, the team we were playing was 11-1. I mean, they were beating the crap out of everybody, right? And then we're talking to the coaches. The commissioner comes out. We've got dignitaries there going, can't believe this is so amazing. Everybody's kind of whatever, and we're just basking in it. And I look out, and these kids were in the outfield doing snow angels, feeling the field. Yeah, I miss this. I miss it. I miss it a lot. And it is and we would play on the field that was named after my grandfather, so it's a thing. And when the following day came, the other coach, who had some challenges, who also won a great game, and I've known the guy forever. He's a good guy. He's had personal challenges, but we all knew each other, so we were all high-fiving each other like, "Hey, we'll see you tomorrow." That's fantastic. And to hype up his team, he took him out in the outfield, and he's like, "These guys mean business. If you think that these guys are just going to stop at one win, you're going to go home losers, and they're going to go home winners." And it was the type of thing that his voice just carried. And the shortstop actually came up to me. And he goes, "Hey, maybe you should go out there and tell him to feel the grass." And then I looked at him and I said, "Maybe after the game." I am a Leo rising. I wanted a freaking trophy. But I said, they're supposed to experience this because that's what they're going through. You got me as a coach. They got him as a coach. And a couple of them just shook their heads. They're like, "Yeah, we know." And we summarily won the game. I forget what the score was, but again, nothing beat the elation of the first win in the playoffs. And I remember after the game, he just lit into his team. He's like, "You're going to remember this forever, and you're going to hate it. And you're going to look back at this, and this ought to motivate you to play harder, to work harder, to practice harder." Like, he was totally doing the Michael Jordan mindset thing. And what made Michael Jordan so unique is that there'll never be another. And if you think that you have that kid on your co-host baseball league team, you're out of your fucking mind. You hit your head and you hit it too hard, and you haven't seek medical attention. And I remember some of the kids, and again, it's one of those leagues where you switch teams every year, and everybody knows everybody. And I remember one of the kids who, again, good kid, was like, he goes, "Are you going to coach next year?" And I'm like, "Yeah." He goes, "I'm going to be on your team." And I go, "Well, we'll kind of see how it goes. I'd be honored if you were on my team." Because, truth is not, once you get to that level, everybody kind of stays on that team until you cycle out. So you have some consistency. But I couldn't tell the kid the truth at the time, like, "Hey, your coach is going to need to like release you because you're not any good, or think that, we need to even you out." And he was a good kid. He hit the ball once, it was one of those things. And I just remember after that game, remembering that the experience that the kids that were on my team, they were going to love the grass. And coincidentally, the kids that were on that team, all except for two of them play and play at a high level. As a matter of fact, the co-host varsity team next year will be that team. And they were on that team in 5th and 6th grade. And you can mourn that the season's over. You can mourn that your time together is over. but how you present it and how you allow it to be the next thing, it's important. And I've seen a few of you, mention, oh, you should coach, oh, you should coach. And it takes a lot, and it also puts a lot of things on the back burner for myself. And I put a ton of stuff on the back burner for myself for a long time. And one of the things that we talk about is, hey, sometimes you got to put yourself first. And if that's what I'm doing right now, so be it. Um, but I would do it at a heartbeat. But ironically, even with all of the stuff that I do on this channel, I won't do politics anymore, not for baseball, because it is about playing a game. It isn't about whether or not you're liked and you showed up and you painted a fence post and your kid is well liked and all that other good stuff. All right, where are we going to? Wow, you guys are growing out here. You guys are growing out here. Hey, Gigi, I see you there. Hope you're still there. Let me know you're still on if you could. Yeah, Gigi, and I saw, and I know Jules is out there too. Jules, go ahead and say hi too. Let me know that you're there. All right, Gigi, here we go. I know you're there, Gigi. All right, Gigi. Hey, Opie, how are you? All right, Gigi, here you go. Here you go. Here's some change. Hi, Julie. How are you? Yeah, Black Belt, stick around. Oh, some change. This is some new stuff coming in, girl. Oh yeah, little less emotional. This is a maturity role, right? This is about you kind of going from change into cups into kind of a new love. So you're changing. Hello, Pluto. By the way, ruled by Pluto, still a planet. Knight of Cups is about love, warmth, and a new idea, a new passion. Maybe it's not coaching anymore, Brandon. Maybe it's getting back into the music thing. Just letting you know. Maybe I'll make some oracle decks if you know what I'm saying. Oh, yeah. Kind of some cold fish energy here. Got to tell you, Gigi. Got to tell you. Hey, Andrea, how are you? Oh, Gigi, where the hell are you? The next one's the right one. Get the foundation card. Oh, yeah. And even this is low drama. That's really what this is. Low drama, somebody that can take the reins and knock it out of the park, and a bit of a dreamer. Tons of purpose here. Gigi, I don't know if you're here or not, but I got to tell you just missed a hell of a reading. Turn up your radiant dial. You know what this is? You got to be personality plus. You're going to catch this person. Just letting you know, Gigi, by the way, you're welcome. Thank you very much. If I'm giving you relationship information, you're probably screwed, but here we are. There we go. Let's get a few more of these done. Oh, Gigi, you are here. Ding, 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 ding. Awesome. Gigi, thanks so much for tuning in. I appreciate you. Jules, how are you? Julie, here we go. I think that you, my dear, are going to have to look at things from a different perspective. Thank you, Hangman. The Hangman comes out along with the King of Cups. Not your usual take. Not your usual take. You're welcome, Gigi. Here we go. Oh, new journey. Let me tell you what this really means. You really want this? Huh? Oh, Gina, good to hear. Good to hear. So you got the Hangman, you got the King of Cups, you got the Fool. Look at that. And then, oh yeah, you're avoiding the conflict. By the way, the Five of Swords is kind of about like you going, you know what? I need this for me. I need this for me. The King of Cups, Wounded Warrior. This is about self-love, not preservation. And this, my dear, is a new spiritual journey. So the Fool card goes out and kind of goes like, all things being equal, null set, zero. Not bad, not good, just is, right? You got a knapsack, you got a dog, and you got the sun. That's all you need. A little positive energy here. The Hermit comes up and you're like, oh, what is this, alone? A little bit. But alone doesn't mean that you're without people. It just means that you have to do it yourself. Quit externalizing it. So this is about you changing perspective, realizing that you know what, if I'm going to fight, I'm too reactive. The King of Cups is, you know what, I've seen this shtick before. You call it love, but what is it? What is it? What is it? And then this is you coming out of hiding going, you know what? I'm a spiritual badass. I'm going to go ahead and talk to you like I own it. And I'm going to allow you to be in my presence. Or not. Little mic drop there. Oh, and you are already perfect. You are already golden there. Look at that. You don't have to change much. You just have to apply what you know. And by the way, that's most of our growth. Have you ever noticed? By the way, have you guys seen since I've done that, like my whole throat voice thing is better, except for when I got a little choked up talking about the kids in the outfield. I'm just telling you, I'm still kind of right there and I'm probably going to cry all the way home. Anyways, taking my own advice, Julie, think of the world of you. Yeah, you go, girl. Look at Mackenzie formed her own support group. And all of a sudden she's like giving away cards like she's on Oprah. Julie, thank you so much. Yeah, we're gonna bugger through a few more of these. Hey Diane, how are you? Hope you're doing well. Hope you're still on there. Hey Caitlin, how are you doing? Yeah, it's funny. It's funny. Yeah, nothing better in baseball games. That was the one that won me over. There we go. Hey Mackenzie, how are you? Here we go. By the way, Gigi just wrote back. She said, I just met him. He was at the grocery store. Oh, here we go. Mackenzie, talk to me about your spiritual journey here. It's been a battle. Maybe you had some not so good influences, or maybe you had a misconception to it. And now you're kind of like going over your options. I got to consult the other side of the deck here. Oh, yeah, this is a practicality. This is you getting back to your basics. And then you've got the moon card over this. Yeah, so this was made up shit. Just to let you know. So any of your conflicts that you've had, whether it be in the spiritual journey or whether it be in the it's almost like your intuition knew to be like, I don't need to fight over this. This is kind of horse hockey. And then you've got the 7 of Cups, which is options, sometimes too many options. Sometimes some options are good for you. Sometimes like when you win the lottery, it's not actually good for you because 4 out of 5 lottery winners end up bankrupt. So that might facilitate it, but give you a really good run. And then you go ahead and you drop the Knight of Pentacles here. The Knight of Wands here. I knew it wasn't Pentacles. That's why I double checked. The Wands comes up because this is about you choosing to work through it. So even if you choose not so correctly right out of the gate, you will eventually. So if you're like, hey, I'm this kind of practitioner, or hey, I want to have this belief system involved, go ahead and run with it and allow yourself to make mistakes. I reserve the right to change. 5115 is my new project. You guys are going to love it. Is it any wonder that I've got too much time on my hands? Taking away from me. Too much time on my hands. Taking. Sorry. Yeah, so this is you kind of being like, of course you had, but listen, in review here, Mackenzie, you can't argue the fact that you needed to go through whatever it is you went through. Period. End of convo. This battle card, this change card right here, this 5, along with the moon, whew, that's letting you know, like, you reveal people and you're like, you're so full of shit. It gave you the you might have been surrounded with a bunch of people that were so full of crap that it stunk all the time, but that allowed you to hone in your intuition going, you're lying. I can tell. Your lips are moving. Like, you fine-tuned yourself here. And then is it any wonder? Of course, you amaze yourself sometimes. It's okay to say, holy shit, did I get that? Do you know how many times I've said that in a live show? Oh my God, I have a funny story. I'm going to tell this funny story. It's super quick. So here I am. I'm in a room full of people, and there were a lot of relatives. This is what happens at these things sometimes. It was for a fundraiser for a veterans association, and this one's like, you know what? We're all going. We're all supporting the club. We're all going to go. And sure enough, by the way, none of them sounded like that. I just sound like that. And sure enough, I'm like, hey, can I come to you? She's talking about the baby. And as I'm looking at this and she's showing me this mom, this matriarch is showing me, I'm like, who's the one that doesn't have eyebrows? And I kid you not, 4 of them point to this woman on the other side of the room with no eyebrows. And I'm like, really, Spirit? You're going to have me point out the one without any eyebrows? And it was because she was like molding them so many times, like it just stopped growing in. And there's a whole like family lore. Anyways, it's the family joke. And the person on the other side wanted me to bring up the family joke. Right. So total hall pass on making fun of somebody. Everybody makes fun of her. And even her dead sister was making fun of her. So there was that. I told you that story to tell you this one. Even in the middle of that, I was like, holy shit, did I just get that? Like sometimes I'm a little bit like, well, I guess I should probably do this for a living. Anyways, here we go. Mackenzie, thanks so much for supporting everything. Rock and roll. Oh, there you guys are. Now you guys are chit-chatting away. How did I lose this person? This person was like right here. Black Bell, how are you? Can I get some cards? Yeah, dog. Here we go. Black Bell, let me know you're here. Just let me know you're here. And it's funny because afterwards, everyone, you got it, Mackenzie. You tell your mom you said hi. Oh my God, I need to get back into doing like a daily podcast. I found this woman that works with dowsing rods, and she asks these questions of the universe, and sometimes they come together and sometimes they don't. All right, Black Bell, good to see you. And it's so funny. It's so funny because the questions that she's asking are just so awesome. They're just like she's asking questions are like, do people worry on the other side? No. Do you become infinitely knowledgeable when you cross over? Yes. One of the questions that she asked, one of the things that she asked was, can anyone connect with a past loved one? Yes. But she is balls. I love her. I love it, love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. Of all the shit on the internet, of all the crappy card readers, and I'm getting a 0 and a 4, and I think he's wearing blue. For all the yahoos that are out there, that's some real shit. Like, cause I get goosebumps. That's like walk off Homer shit to me. I don't know her name. Put in dowsing rods, and I've really only seen her on Insta. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to share one of her videos on my Instagram. If you don't follow me on Instagram, please go over there and follow me. I don't know why Instagram doesn't grow, and they made it really difficult to put these videos out there, but it's Conscious Medium B, and it looks like I'm calling myself Conscious Dumb. Like it looks like weird, but it's Conscious Medium. Yeah, the dowsing podcast. I think that's what it's called. If anybody has it, post it out here. Yeah, the dowsing rod, which by the way is going to be a class in about 3 weeks because I mapped this shit out now because I'm like a mature professional. And Black Bell, here we go. Gold. She is gold. And if anybody personally knows her, get us connected because I just want to have a 20-minute with her. The moon. Black Bell. The moon. What are you hiding? What's your hopes? Oh, the emperor. Behave. This could be a father figure. It could also mean that you're actually getting your shit together. Oh, and the Queen of Wands. I've seen this combination before, everybody. It seems to always come up. Maybe I need to drop. Seems like I need to drop all the cards so then I shuffle them up a little bit more. Whew. This is about meeting somebody you dream of. I don't know if Dad's here or not. Solar Glow mediations, or is it meditations? Yeah, go check her out, guys. Black Belt, I'm a little Copernicus here because Black Belt. This screams a relationship because now you get the two of Pentacles in here. Your dad, totally, and then you get the 7 of Swords. Dad, a war hero. Dad sacrificed something. And by the way, I don't get hung up on the sheer dishonesty of the 7 of Swords because I have a slightly different interpretation. It can be, but there's something more to this than the 7 of Pentacles. Double 7s here. Wow, there's a lot going on here. Is Dad with us? He's in passing then. Okay. Thanks, Rachel. He died in a work accident. Yeah, and I'm going to say this to you. So I'm going to tell you the story about the 7 of Wands or 7 of Swords. I know I've told you the story, but I want to remind everybody. The 7 of Swords is actually about preventing harm, preventing a war. And the backstory of the Seven of Wands is how he shows up and he just leaves 2 swords, but he steals the other 5, so not everybody can fight, so they're like, "We can't really have a battle." And by a weird sort of deception, he's able to keep peace. I'm gonna tell you that this is also an inheritance. Because this is him leaving behind something there for you. Of course, he was Navy. And by the way, Queen of Wands, 8 of Pentacles, you are worthy. Cut it out. It's not just about the, oh, I don't want to be in a relationship because it's hard work. Or I don't know if I'll ever really grow anything or not, or whatever. This is about a maturity level. This is about a knowledge. And this is about kicking ass and taking names. And by the way, this Moon card, along with the 2 of Pentacles, is about you being matched with somebody that is practical. Right? So, yeah, this is a heady reading. I'm not gonna lie. This one's a showstopper, guys. And I'm gonna tell you, Dad's kind of repositioning this. Dad's making sure that you have all the things that you need, so then you could be self-sufficient. This is a self-sufficiency card. This is also you allowing yourself to be the badass self that it is. This is about you being able to be the woman you want to be, being the person you want to be, being the person in the relationship you want to be, not relying on another person, but having it be equal in measure. That's what he wants from you. And by the way, he sits right here. If he's an Aries, I get double bonus. If he's a fire sign, I get a half credit. Or is the 4 connected to him? What is the 4 connected to Dad? Black Bell. Your husband is your gift. Yeah. Yeah. Who's the 4? Who's April? Who's on the 4th with the 4th? 4 children. I don't know what this is. He's not letting me go with it though. He's a Cap. What's in April? Did he pass in April? He's not letting us go. And he's talking about Roger. He's talking about the R. I don't know. I think this is what he did. Did he make rebar? I don't know what this is. It's calling you princess is now. He says princess is now a queen. Princess is now a queen. You can spend money on the house. He doesn't want you to spend money on the house unless it's Oh, Halloween 82. The only spot the black cat shows up in the deck. He worked for Shell Oil Refinery. God, he's not letting me go. Died in an explosion. I'm understanding that. Oh, how many people died in the explosion? And he's also he's talking about this R name, Robert Ricky Ronaldo. I don't know who this is. It was just him. And he's also showing it where is it 4 in the morning, 4 in the afternoon? I'm sorry to drill this down, but he's not letting it go. And he's also talking about an M. I don't know who Michael is. But he's pointing to his brother Robert. Okay, gotcha. Who's Michael to him? Of course, he's talking about his brother. And he's saying all of that happened, and listen, I'm not being crude here, but he's saying everybody got set up nicely with this. He's like, I'm not here, but I get to see you and how you used it and how you have utilized it and how you've grown. Michael's your mom's brother. Okay. He's listing off names to give you validation. This is him. And he's talking about he's saying, oh, oh, yeah. Wow. And uh, he was born on who's on the 14th? What's on the 14th? And by the way, they didn't have much of an argument. And, they said it was error. They said it was this, that, and the other thing. But I'm going to tell you, he's talking about the 14th. Well, because I'm a professional black belt. I have a book and a YouTube channel, and I travel the world. And by the way, he chose this time. And by the way, he shows me Galveston. How far away was he? Um, and he's talking about it like he had been. Sorry, guys, I gotta stay with this. And who's the soft ass? The Shell, Sharon, Michelle, Charisse. I don't know who this is. He's born in Virginia. Was he born in Norfolk? Was he a Navy brat? Okay, he died in LA. Okay. And who's Christopher? Well, then, Michelle, here we go. He's just trying to give you validation. This is him. And he's talking about Christopher. Michelle, I was born at the Norfolk Naval Hospital. That's why he chose me. He trusts me. Christopher is the patron saint of travel. So what he's showing me is that whatever he was traveling to with the Navy, he was born to kind of do what he did, and he had a destiny all the way through. He's also talking about yes, Debbie, that is correct. St. Christopher for sure. He's talking about a dog. He's talking about the dog. He's saying we still have the dog. And I know this was decades ago, but he's talking about the dog. And then he's also talking about the other. I don't know if he had been in Japan. Oh, he's talking about headwaters. Oh, I know what's going on. He was in during Vietnam. Um, oh, thank you very much, Miss Janet Moody. What is he was in the Philippines? Got it. Your dog Samantha, and he's talking about May. He's talking about 5. 1 plus 4 is 5. He's talking about May. What was on the 5th? Who was in May? Michelle. It's what I do. What is up in May? He's talking about May like as in like, hey, here you go. And he's like clear as a bell with it. Like he's not mincing terms. He's like, this was May. So I don't know if he passed in May and this was his anniversary, or what the deal is, or if it was his anniversary, because he's laughing because he's just like, yeah, don't bring up his mom. What is the 5? 5 kids, 5 children. He's not letting any of this go. There's 5 kids. Ding, ding, ding. And he's like, was it 4 boys and 1 girl, 4 girls and 1 boy? Right. Oh, by the way, the 31st is a 4. Oh, I'm sorry. The 31st is a 5, 10, 31, 5. And then I don't know who's Sherman, Sharon Sherman. He's not letting this one go. Cheryl. Yes, I got the Michelle part. 3 girls, 2 boys. Oh, so you have 1 of each. That would have been bonus points in this. Don't go there. I'll go there. I got to go here. Is one of the boys, and I know you're going to share this with your family, and I don't mean to insult it. He's trying to say, oh, is one of them in passing? Is one of the boys in passing? He's focused in on the boy. Is one of the boys together with a man? And again, I'm not trying to. He's just trying to show me there is a 4 plus 1. And he's saying we're not a junior. And he had a penchant for like In-N-Out Burger or White Castles. And he's saying everything was in the bag. You got to check the bag. It's not Christopher, it's Christine. Whose middle name is Christine? Oh, by the way, he thinks I'm the devil. Like in a good way. Your brother Jonathan is what? Your brother Jonathan is. I'm telling you, he is talking about the 4 that like men and the 1 that likes a woman. That's just how Dad is showing it. And by the way, Dad isn't judging it. Dad is one. Ernestina, thank you. Who is Ernestina? My sister's middle name. He's talking about her, and he's saying I know she doesn't get any of this yet, but she gets it. Like it took her a long time to understand what this meant for her to be in passing. For him to be in passing. Or there's a little bit of closeness here, but by the way, I get like an accordion with your family. Sometimes you're close, sometimes you aren't, and it's all good. And he's like, nope. He goes, I did my job. I made sure everybody had a little something. And he's also talking about he's waving his finger at the motorcycle. Who had the motorcycle? Oh man. What's the motorcycle? Really? Now you think I'm nailing it? By the way, I am going to come back to this and show, and I got one more card to pull, but what's the big deal with the but no longer? Okay. Got it. But he's talking about the motorcycle. He's just trying to give you validation. This is him. He sees what goes on every day. Michelle. He doesn't. So when people pass away, they try and figure out how to be dead, and we try and figure out how to live without them. Your dad absolutely made a move to support the family. I'm not saying he leaned into an accident. I don't think anybody intentionally, consciously puts themselves in harm's way. But I'll tell you, his soul made the choice a long time ago to make sure that everybody was going to be okay. And if leaving, Michelle, why the hell do you think you're getting a message from your dad? He gets it. He sees you. And by the way, it's not, you think any of us get this right? Think of the person that you think has their act together the most. They don't. Look at the person that looks like an absolute train wreck. It's probably not that bad. Maybe you should just enjoy the process. I'm sorry Dad passed away, but I'm telling you, he had everything, every bit of intention to help the family. And by the way, Michelle, I'm going to say it. He fucked up a lot. He didn't end up in LA by accident. That wasn't just a job offer, was it? That's right, Colleen. Keep trying. Keep going. Why do you think I always say keep going? Who's the grandmother? Who just became the grandmother again? He's saying grandmother again. Oh, and he does not like the nose ring. Who's got the friggin' nose ring? He is disgusted by this one. He goes, the tattoos are great. The nose ring. Who wants to punch yourself in the face with that? I'm just gonna hold on a second. Hold on a second. I'm just gonna do this. For the rest of the show, you got that right. But he's laughing like he's in the room with you. He's laughing like he's a part of the conversation. He's joking around. He's kind of like, well, if you don't recognize it, I'm going to point it out to you. And he's given me one thing after another of validation. Right? I need to sit down. Has tattoos and 2 earrings. Pirates and and I don't see a ship in the driveway. Dad's a little old school with that crap. I thought about it the other day, and I've been saying now for almost a full year, I've done over 25,000 readings. I've done a few more now. And I don't see, a lot of people thought it can come off like I'm bragging about that. I'm just proud of it. Do you know how many mediums actually, you know what the burnout rate is on mediumship? Like maybe 10, 12 years. He is a good man. Listen, he's given a thumbs up. Of everything, it's the earring he doesn't like. Okay. Right? Who's the P name? Phil Frank. Fernando. I don't know who this is. You can give me some validation on that. But to have a chance to connect with so many people and so many people, I mean, the burnout rate on mediumship, if you do it 15 years, it's a lot. Fred, who's Fred? Um, okay. So he's working on that now. And by the way, you'll hug him if you see him, but that doesn't mean you're driving out of the way to put him out if he lights on fire. You know what I'm saying? But I'm really honored to be able to connect with so many people and so many things over the years. I truly know how unique what I'm doing is. And anytime I've ever been upset or shamed or insulted or whatever, it's when people didn't appreciate that I can do that I can do this, or that I have a gift. And just because they don't like it or it doesn't fit their paradigm or anything else, you really get a thick skin about the I don't care factor. The I don't really care what people think. thing, and it makes you look a little arrogant, but you do that as a defense mechanism, and that's important because I genuinely think your dad came to me and said, "You need to do this tonight." Hands down. It was just one of those things where I'm like, "Well, I have an opportunity," and by the way, I'm booked the rest of the month. It's crazy, guys. I'm gonna have to start doing these during the day, which I'm not opposed to. Um, and I would love to be able to plan these out and everything else. It's just life gets in the way, guys. Yeah, Esther, I Googled her. Really, Esther? Yeah. Oh, I got one more card for you. Here we go. And by the way, the only thing I stage are my amps. Well, Esther, what are you doing here? I mean, by the way, I'm going to rewind the tape 2.5 minutes. The only time I've ever been pissed off is when people don't appreciate the gift. And if you think this entire thing is staged, I don't know what to tell you. My job isn't to convince you that what you just experienced was real. My job isn't to convince you that she's on the other side of the world and I don't even know her one way or the other, but Spirit showed it to me. I will tell you, though, that people that don't believe in this gift are traditionally miserable. Oh, he's got a mess of boogie. Listen, Michelle, we got a jam. As much as I'm moving out in front of the kit, I can go behind the kit anytime. Last message from your dad. Are you ready? Rainmaker. How about that? By the way, the Rainmaker gives you what you need. Maybe not be what you want. Maybe it's a little too much. Maybe it's so much rain that it's a flood. Maybe it's the idea. No kidding. No kidding. Are you kidding me? All right, guys. You gotta give me something here for a second. So this is what I'm looking at right now. And I'm going to take me a second to send to myself here. I'm quote unquote getting back into music, but I'm also very clearly kind of diving into my passion and creating and everything else. And it's give me just a second here. And to be able to do that, like when I show you guys this, you're gonna be like, okay, B. And by the way, I take full responsibility for how sideways everything looks. Because I have to do these steps in order to like put this on whatever. So we're gonna save this and then I upload it. And being able to do this, Esther, I can't believe you like tune in as much as you do, and you just called me out like I staged it. By the way, I have a single that's going to be out on July 1st, just before the 4th of July. And by the way, there's a reason why it's just before the 4th of July, because it's actually a line on the song. And I have to finish recording it, and I have to finish not sounding like a Muppet. Yep, I understand. Skepticism is a very important thing. So is me defending my gift. And by the way, Esther, I will tell you that people that have sat in a reading with me, hands down, will absolutely tell you that there's no way I know what I know. So the Rainmaker, again, is about bringing things to fruition, helping you in ways that you didn't see coming. Again, it might have been a little too much. It might have been a little bit too much for you. And wait a minute, wait for it. All right, guys, you ready? There you go. That's what the other half of my room looks like right now. I got amps, I got timbales, I've got the kit. And I had a meeting today with a photographer to do some headshots again. And she walks in and she goes, "Am I on drums?" And I go, "You're on drums. Let's go, kid." Yeah. So just to let you know, and by the way, this you know, this space is going to be also wired for sound. And I have a lot of friends that are musicians, and I'm going to invite them in, and maybe I'll do some live streams, and we'll do some. That is one of my two gongs. Yep. Um, yeah, one of my two gongs. I have to cover a Tesla song now. Of course, I have to do some Zeppelin. Of course. Um, I should do some Rush, but let me ease back into it, guys. I might be able to pull off Fly By Night, but I can't hit the notes. I can't hit Geddy Lee, guys. Fly By Night, especially with a head cold. Yeah, thank you, Carly. I appreciate it. Yeah, listen, Michelle, it's not set up yet. I'm just letting you know. It kind of looks like it's like blah. Yeah, and coincidentally, it's funny how people come back into your life. I actually connected with somebody who was a lead singer in a group in a project that I did, and she's been through some stuff. And I'm like, "Kid," I go, "Come in, sit down, and hit it." And she's like, "Seriously? Like, we don't have to play like in front of 100 people?" And I go, "No." I go, "We're gonna play in front of 5,000." Um, Guns N' Roses. Yeah, never really. I like I like Paradise City. That was probably the only tune I would ever, you know. There's something about the flow of that music, and Paradise City, Welcome to the Jungle, Sweet Child of Mine. And by the way, if you've ever been in a band, like when Sweet Child of Mine was part of a set list, um, you don't want to play it anymore. Just like I am okay if I never play My Sharona again. I'm okay if I never know Jenny's number again. Like, that being said, um, the Greg Kihn band, fantastic, but I don't need to be in jeopardy anymore. All those are cool tunes and they're fun, and whatever the things that I'm doing. It's a project called 5115. I am absolutely ripping off Van Halen on that one, and it is basically all the songs that I have loved since I was 15. And I've been working on this for a while. I just need to really kind of hunker down and get my final 12 down, but it's going to take you. I will tell you 3 songs that will absolutely be on there is some Gordon Lightfoot, because that was incredibly inspiring to me. I will also tell you that in terms of recent stuff, no Creedence, but that'll be in the live set. Some Mammoth, if you're familiar with Wolfgang Van Halen. If you're not and you're a rock person, absolutely go check them out. He is carving a niche in his own way. To me, he's hit every bullet point in the right way. I will not be doing any Nickelback. Although I'm not against Nickelback the way most people are. But Rod Stewart will be represented, and Led Zeppelin will be represented, and my own original stuff will be represented. So you guys I hope you enjoy it. And by the way, that is where the thick skin comes from. Be like, you know what you could do? Every single drummer is okay. It's the most okayest drummer you've ever seen. And over time, I realized that at 45, when I would pick up the sticks and be like, I'm not really playing all that much, but I'll play again. And I'll be like, I can kind of whatever. 51's a whole other ballgame, man. Like, shit's falling off me. Like, I got to figure out how to compensate. I got to figure out, kind of how to kind of roll with that and everything else. And, Esther, it's not about being angry. It's about knowing the place of the question. And you gave other people an opportunity to kind of say, like, to do that. So I think that was your role tonight, to just provide people to be like, no, he's real deal. I've seen enough of that. And maybe that'll convince you, to a point where you can see it through, and maybe lightening up about, it doesn't have the world's not always getting over on you. If there's one thing that the current climate of politics and socio-political, geopolitical shit is, that we always think, our immediate mindset is, what are you up to? Here's a vaccine. You don't care about me. They don't. Now accept that. Is the vaccine good for you or isn't it? Don't get hung up on the deets, man. Don't get hung up on the fact that this is literally the worst election we've ever had in terms of candidates. Don't be afraid to actually voice the idea that you have concerns that we're going 100% digital with our money. Do you realize that less than 15% of all money is in cash form now? Oh, and by the way, we print more money whenever we need it. Anybody else hitting the red flag on this one? There's caution into the wind everywhere. But I can hold the door open for other people. I can connect with Michelle's dad. I can give you some good cards and give you some good vibe or some perspective. Esther, I'm glad you brought it up. I was annoyed because that was the reaction I should have. Don't you know who I am? I have a book and a YouTube channel. I travel the world. But it's not about my ego. It's about, I know what I'm supposed to do in this life. I know what I'm supposed to do in this world. And I'm doing it every day. Michelle, talk to you soon. Hope to jam with your husband sometime. And send me a link to any of the music that he's got. I'll connect with you soon. The only way I'm going to be able to connect with you is if you come out on here or you send me a message. Go to the website. The email's right on there. I'll talk to you soon. All right, guys. Listen, hard taps for around the world. Listen, let's be a better, peaceful place. Let's hold the door open for others, and let's just keep going. I'll see you guys soon. By the way, when this gets redone, you're going to be like, dude! See you guys soon.